Okay, where are we? We're in Swiss Chalet. Let me get something here. Right there. Swiss Chalet. Swiss Chalet. In downtown Toronto. And guess who's back? Christopher Knowles is back in Toronto. He's here, and he's going to stay a week. And we got a big event coming up on Tuesday. So we're going to Ottawa on Monday, and on Tuesday, St. John's torch champion Samantha Elton Tate. And by the way, if you don't say Elton, she gets mad. Samantha Elton Tate is going to get honored as the Canadian Student Torch Champion at Parliament Hill in front of the Internal Flame by her MP, and he's the Minister of Fisheries and Oceans, I just found out. Yeah, so he's a pretty high-profile guy, so he's going to come out, and Samantha is in heaven right now after hearing the news that not only that she was selected, but that she's going to get honored, and she's really happy. So she's looking forward to meeting us, and we're going to spend a couple of good days with her, and this will probably be the spark to set the tone for the world tour, because we're going around the world next year, September. And in October of this year, we're going to hold an event where everybody's going to be appearing, but not physically, mostly by the magic of video conference. And we're hoping that Cisco, it's a big company, is going to support this and get involved with us and get behind us, and then we're going to kick some ass around the world.
Hopefully.
That's the next move.
Sounds good.
So if everything comes together, Chris, you'll probably join in, right?
More likely. Hopefully.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Alrighty, sounds good.
A Sarnia teen is walking across the country promoting organ donor awareness. I'm Stephanie Manzik. I'll have Christopher's story coming up later in the newscast.
Christopher Knowles is 13 years old and needs a liver transplant. And while he waits, the energetic teen has taken on a colossal challenge, walking across Canada to raise organ donor awareness. Stephanie Manzik met him today.
He's a vibrant young man who has undergone more than 30 surgeries in his lifetime because of a rare liver disease. With every step he takes, Christopher Knowles has a wish. He hopes someone, somewhere, will sign an organ donor card. The 13-year-old is walking across Canada to raise awareness and money for the Organ Transplant Association. At the same time, he's on the waiting list for a liver transplant.
When I was like 10, my dad, because we have to have the same blood type to have a liver, and my dad was going to give a piece of his liver because he's the same blood type as me, but they said you weren't allowed. I have to have the whole liver. So it's kind of, I'm waiting. That's why I'm waiting so long.
Christopher kicked off his walk at Sarnia City Hall today. Mayor Mike Bradley officially handed him the same torch used by transplant recipient George Marcello in his similar walk back in 2000. Christopher's peers joined him for the first leg of his walk as he made his way to Johnson Memorial School.
At Skydome pitching his cause to give cancer life. Made the pitch of his life to thousands at tonight's Jays game, hoping his 13-year battle with liver disease will urge crowds to sign their donor cards. He's been on a waiting list since the age of 1, hoping his pager will soon indicate a life-saving liver's on the other end. What do you want the crowd to take away from tonight's game?
Well, my only slogan is to the whole walk is please don't take your organs to heaven. Heaven knows we need them here.
Do you think you're making an impact? The message you're getting through?
He hasn't been feeling very good in the last few days, so he's in a lot of pain.
Chris's goal is to travel to 200 cities across Canada on this tour. So far, he's accomplished 106 in 25 cities and talked to over 1 million people in this country about the importance of organ donation. Tonight he'll bring his message to thousands here at the Sky Dome. The teen who's turned his young life into a mission of raising awareness.
We have an update now on a brave young Sarnia boy who's in need of a liver transplant. 13-year-old Christopher Knowles is walking across Canada to raise awareness about organ donation, and today he is spreading his message at West End high schools.
He sends the message to all that our system of healthcare depends not only upon government but on the contribution of individuals. We all know that. This 13-year-old young man is a hero to me. My best hope is for Christopher to get his liver soon, and for the 4,000 men, women, and children on the list to also survive, and for Canada to become #1 on the organ transplant list.
Today marks the 30th day of Christopher's trek. From Bloor Collegiate, he's walking to visit students at Bishop Morocco Catholic School. And he walked through the doors of the Chum City building to join us here on Cable Pulse 24. Christopher, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I want to show one piece of equipment that you wear all the time that is extremely important to you. Tell us what this is, Christopher.
This is the life pager that when it goes off, I have to rush to London St. Kitts Hospital to get my liver.
Okay, so
Nothing yet. I'm trying to figure it out. So.
on the planet and blinking step into the sun. There's more to be seen than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. Some say eat or be eaten, some say live and let live, but all I agree is to join the stampede. You should never take more than you give in the circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune, it's the leap of faith, it's the band of hope. Till we find our place on the path that
he was going to see that he recognized him, and he was just going to kill him. Like that's what was in his head for no reason, right? So the first person that happened to step out was a well-known sportscaster. He used to do all the sports. He was a famous hockey player. Everybody loved this guy. And just as he was the first person that stepped out,
To silence the voices, he chose a target.
You knew he was a former hockey player.
Yeah, it's not no beef with him or his family. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He admits he pulled the trigger.
Okay, I shot Brian Smith.
He ripped a hole through my soul. So how do you forgive that?
But Jeffrey Arenberg was declared to be not criminally responsible for Smith's death.
And I left there and I was like, where was I? What just happened?
Hello, my name is Samantha Tate, and I'm from St. John's, Newfoundland. Today is a very special day for us, and we honor it in the memory of Brian Smith. 13 years ago, the entire nation, if not the world, was saddened by Brian's unfortunate death. His name has been associated with the torch of life since the beginning. Today, 2 days after his anniversary, we are calling it Brian's Day.
I decided to think and pick a student torch champion for all of Canada. So we had break it down to 100 people. It was hard, but we had to pick the right one to give us the one that.
When are we going there?
after this.
Oh, okay.
Maryville.
Maryville.
Live. That's why, yeah. What did he say?
Maryville.
Yeah.
I know, I got it. It's in my head.
Maryville. All right.
I got a kidney stone. I keep blacking out. All right. I'll try to get it.
Yeah.
It's not
No.
Oh, that. It's painful. It is. I know, but it's like I want to try and be all the meth we can. Not being so sweet.
We need dinner all big time.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'd say I know what you're talking about.
George says it's worse than pregnancy, but he doesn't know.
I don't know. It's a hot bird.
I'd like to agree, but I can't.
You don't know.
All right, Loyola Herd is on site. Just walking up.
Oh. Does he want his cell phone?
Yeah, just do it.
Oh, perfect. Well, let me introduce.
How are you doing?
Congratulations.
What makes it so satisfying is to see young people like yourself take the lead in this, and it just leads all of us to believe that for those looking for donations, undoubtedly you're going to create a tremendous awareness, but to the country generally, to see young people step up, not only this cause, but to know you're there to lead our young people into the future in this great country, makes us realize our country will be just a little bit better than folks like you. Again, thank you.
Okay, we're now going to hand you the Torch of Life, which was blessed by Pope John Paul II on September 5th, 2001. It's our symbol that's going to be carried around the world for the next 5 years. And
certainly, I'm very pleased and proud to be able to do this, and delighted to pass it to Samantha. There we go. There we are. Samantha, all yours. There you go.
Thank you.
Sorry, Minister, can you hold it with her, please?
Okay. All right.
That's it.
How long have you been here?
This is going into the 9th year, about 8.5 years. Yeah.
think, Chris?
It's going good.
It's going good, eh? You got that magic feeling again?
Yeah. 2 good interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one I kind of screwed up on, but that's all right. The second one I did awesome.
Okay.
You'll see it.
Sorry, can you let me know how far I can go with this camera? We're kind of doing a huge documentary right across Canada.
I'd say go until they stop you.
Okay. Good advice. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yep. Yep. No. Wow. Okay, Chris.
Our future Prime Minister.
Future Prime Minister. Okay, Prime Minister Tate. What would you like to say to the House today?
Everybody become an organ donor.
Perfect. Okay. And we'll go up to the comfortable seats. And from there, you referee everything that goes on in the
Look, they have the buttons.
the house.
And again, what would you like to tell all the parties today?
You cannot live in Canada unless you are an organ donor.
Whoa, that's
that's strong.
That's
yeah. That was amazing. Okay. All right.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we taking a picture?
No, just great job. Oh, no, come on, better.
Okay. It's
Oh,
hard.
it's gotta go simultaneous. That's it. Nice.
Perfect.
I'm so tired. Where are we going now?
Okay, let's map out the rest of the day. Okay, we just had a great day.
Yeah.
It was. You couldn't ask for a better. This turned out. Oh, you know what? This is more better than better. Like, what's better than better? Is there a
Awesome.
better than better? Awesome.
Deadly.
Deadly. What else, Lace? Is because they have a map of the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for a sawbuck. You know what a sawbuck is? Tell her what a sawbuck is, Chris.
Sawbuck is $5.
No, it's not. That's a Finsky.
Finsky's $5?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, it's
Yeah.
Sawbuck's $10 then.
A
$10
sawbuck
in
is
that town.
$10.
Half a yard, 50.
Half a yard's 50. Samantha?
I know a Finsky is 5, but what's a sawbuck? Why?
Sawbuck. It's $10.
So they got. Oh,
Half
you
a
got a
yard?
big map of the world. I understand.
Yeah, we're getting that. It cost a sawbuck. And you know what's better than better?
What?
Forget about it.
Forget.
Yeah, you gotta. Okay, say that. Forget about it, because you got.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
See what I'm saying? Know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not. See what I'm saying? See, let's tell her that one, Chris.
See what I'm saying? Know what I mean?
See what I'm saying? Know what I mean? See?
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Ooh, man.
Toronto words.
Yeah, you have to learn a bit of Toronto words.
I could probably stun you all with my Newfie words.
Yeah, well, you are. You're gonna stun us all. And then, but the odd time,
Yeah.
like when you go back to Newfoundland,
Yeah.
you have to give them a bit of Toronto.
Try.
Just go in and introduce yourself. Chris? Introduce yourself. Okay. Oh, is that a penny?
No.
Okay. Katie?
I'm Kate.
How
Nice
are
to meet you.
Nice
and
to
this
meet
is Max
you.
keeping the
Hi,
home
Max.
show.
Glad to meet you, sir.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Samantha.
Hi, Samantha. I'm Max. Nice to meet you. Hi, Chris. I just come down to say thank you for making Ryan a part of what you're doing. How much do you know about him?
I don't know much. I know the story of what happened, and I know that he played a big part. in our organization, you know, he donated his organs and saved 6 people.
It's pretty incredible. I think in North America we only had a couple of journalists who've been assassinated. No, I'm not meant to be there, Doc.
Sorry, Max, is it okay if I document
this?
this?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. When I had a couple of journalists who were assassinated, and Brian was very loved in the community. He'd been a former NHL player, so he's a great athlete, came from an athletic family, so he's pretty adored in the community, and the man who shot him was mentally deranged.
Yeah.
But when they took him to the hospital and he was brain dead, the doctors were amazed at his condition. I mean, he was an athlete.
Yeah.
And so they were able to harvest the organs at the pace of finding the people and getting them to them. So by the next day, we at least had the good side of the story to be able to say 7 people have benefited. And I've met some of the people since then. And as a result of that, and I'm not sure if you're aware, the women of CJOH, and we used to be CJOH, now we're CTV Ottawa, the women of CJOH became the calendar girls for organ donation and continue to take a lead on that. So they posed, 25 of them in studio, and they were on the Ontario calendar. So we as a group of journalists maintained the profile. But again, we were drawing from Smitty and trying to get that profile out there and raise it. And so we do a lot of stories.
Would you happen to have one of those an extra calendar we can get?
I don't know if any of it. We're dead. Most people are on holidays.
Once we're done with what we're going to do, I'll bring you upstairs and we'll work on that.
We'll see if there's somebody up there, because there were 25 of them. And,
yeah.
There's got to be one or two that's still here. Anyway, I just came down to say thank you for including Smitty, and congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's pretty amazing. The other part of the station you may not know is that we were the first television station in Canada, in North America, to be child and youth friendly. And what that means is that issues pertaining to children, youth, and families take a priority.
Yeah.
And a couple of American stations followed us, including one in New York and one in San Francisco. And so when young people are doing something, it's our mandate to make sure we tell the world about it, so that you don't get enough credit for what you do. So thank you so much.
We actually have the torch of life here. It'll take us not even a few seconds. If you don't mind just holding it for a second, Max, it would make us really.
The tree, we planted the tree. Like one of the viewers who suggested a tree, and tree meaning life, and it's grown. It's beautiful. So the building is sold, but included in the sale is that tree. Be carefully moved to wherever we're going to go. And and because Smitty was an athlete in the golf, every year when the golf season begins,
it's in there, right?
Somebody puts a golf ball.
Just for him to hold it. Just need to take a picture.
I think I know, but it's done anonymously. Do you want to do it out at the tree?
We'll do it up by the tree.
Yeah.
If you can take part, that would be great. Is there any way we can leave some of our stuff here?
Put it all here, it's fine.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll
These
just
are all on holidays.
and you got the lighter?
Yeah.
And you got the fluid?
We don't need a fill because we're going to have to bring it on the airplane, George.
No, we got to light it.
There's enough in there. There's enough.
Well, just in case. Just in case. And a cup to put it out. We need a cup to put it out. You got to think of these things. Do you have a styrofoam? Excuse me. Sorry. Do you have a styrofoam cup?
Are your feet really that big?
Somebody kept it. Is there any way I can get one brought to the back after, just to put the torch out after?
You want one?
Yeah, I'm going to be in the back.
Because the different members are here helping run it. And there are a group of kids from the University of Ottawa who went across Canada on bikes this year for cancer. And it was led by a young guy from St. John's.
Really?
He's the grandson of Frank Morse. Now you're going to ask me what his last name is. I can't remember. They finished up on George Street on the 25th of July. I was supposed to go down, but
I did imagine.
Yeah, one night in St. John's, and I'd taken the
Yeah, I know.
And we had a great big scene here. 30,000 people in Mexico.
Great big scene.
Yeah. We did it.
Got it home, it's just like, yeah, great big scene.
We did a party. 200 people.
Samantha, do you have your speech? It's in the bank?
Yeah, sure.
Can you just quickly go get it? And that's what we're going to read out. By the way,
the hockey puck and the golf ball. One of Smitty's admirers, the start of the season, the golf season comes and puts the golf ball there and takes it away late November and brings it back. The hockey puck stays there because Smitty was an NHL player. He played with Los Angeles.
Los Angeles?
And Los Angeles Kings. And before he started his journalistic career, he played some hockey in Europe. Very, very good hockey player.
Max, Christopher carried that torch across Canada when he was 14 years old. And Christopher was in need of a liver transplant.
All right.
And he still is.
Still are.
Yeah, 18 years now.
And still on the waiting list.
No, they took me off because I'm too healthy, supposedly.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
You were 14 when you carried your cross Canada?
Yep.
And just before that, Pope John Paul II blessed the torch at Vatican City. And it was actually in 2001 that he urged us to make sure that the students carry the torch. And basically that's what we've been doing ever since. And it's always been in Brian's memory. And Samantha was chosen as the Canadian Student Torch Champion out of 100 that recently relayed it across the country. And we're actually kicking off our world tour on September the 9th, 2009. And so we think that today's event is going to be so special in making our first announcement about the world tour. Because
we covered the news conference this morning, and now we're adding this to it. But if you're going to say something, we'll pick up Samantha's what she has to say. I don't mind being in one shot, but it's about them, not.
I understand.
Not me.
So do you want me to read my whole speech?
Yeah. Pick out a part of it.
Pick out a part of it? Okay, do you want me to pick out, because at the beginning I said...
The beginning and the end.
So just pick out the beginning and then...
Where are you from?
Sarnia, Ontario.
All right.
Yeah.
And
On September 1st? Like just start with our world tour?
Right here. And awards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll speak the part about Brian and then I'll speak that part.
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell me when you want me to start. Fine? Okay. Hello, my name is Samantha Elton Tate and I'm from St. John's, Newfoundland. Today is a very special day for us and we honor it in the memory of Brian Smith. 13 years ago, the entire nation, if not the world, was saddened by Brian's unfortunate death. His name has been associated with the Torch of Life since the beginning. Today, 2 days after his anniversary, we are calling it Brian's Day. An awards event will be held in Toronto, Canada on October 24th, 2008 to recognize the Student Torch champions individually, and each of the 100 students that champion the torch will be given awards for their tremendous success throughout the Torch of Life relay. Most of these students will attend using video technology. This event not only shows the power and incredible passion, but demonstrates how today's youth can really stand up for what they believe in and change our world together. Also, for the very first time, the Foundation for Organ Donations is introducing its worldwide Student Torch of Life relay. On September 1st, 2009, the Torch of Life will start a 4-year journey that will include over 1,000 different students from over 1,000 different cities. More than 200 countries will be included in this torch relay, and Step by Step is determined to have it viewed daily using the magic of technology. At the awards event in Toronto and through the worldwide tour, the youth of today can passionately show that student power around the world can raise awareness and unite millions of people. We, the youth of Canada, have taken the first step to unselfishly and confidently change the world. And beginning now, we, the youth of the world,
are coming together as one world despite our many differences to heal our world and to make the shortage of organ donations disappear.
Very well. Now.
All right, now you be the producer, yeah.
All right, now will you hold that? Listen, I'm a cameraman, I'm not a reporter. Contractually, I can't ask you any questions. Right?
Okay.
I get in trouble if I ask you any questions.
Okay.
Right. But if I could ask you a question, the question I would ask you is, what are you trying to say to the youth in suburbia Ottawa? Like this was fine. But like, let's cut to the chase. What are you actually trying to say to them? My daughter, I've got a young daughter sitting at home, sitting in the living room watching this now. If you were in that room with her, what do you want to say to her? All right. But
Give me a minute.
I want
Cool.
Now that I heard
You understand the question?
Yeah.
Now that
So
I
do you
heard
want me
what
to
you had
start
to
off
say.
like saying, you know, if I was...
Not necessarily. Just if you're more comfortable starting that off, absolutely.
I'm going to ask both of you, and in effect, you're going to get.
I'm following your lead, Max.
All right.
Go. And please talk to Max. Don't talk to the camera.
Okay.
I want to know what the passion is for the two of you. I mean, why are you doing this?
Well, when I first heard about the organization, you know, I didn't know much about it. But once I was chosen Immigration Tour Champion, I just fell in love with it. It's something different, and it's a problem we can change so easily. You know, we don't have to put billions and billions of dollars into looking for the cure. The cure is just signing a card, and we can save up to 8 of our lives. And I think the youth really needs to stress about how easy it is to save lives in this world. It's so easy. And I just think through the youth, we can find the answer, and through the youth, we're able to raise awareness, especially for our future.
Do you think other young people are listening?
I really hope so. It's really important. You know, I'm also young. I'm still in high school, and you know, once I heard about this, you know, it's a big deal, and I mean, it's such an important thing to me. So I think if other youth hear it, you know, they're going to fall in love with this organization too, and I think they can really help. They don't realize how easy it is.
It is not difficult. It's not hard to make a difference in somebody else's life.
It's not hard at all. If I die today, I'm an organ donor, and I can save up to 8 people. It could be a little baby. It could be, you know, a senior citizen. It doesn't matter. They could be all over the world. You know, it's just so simple.
Tell me about your passion for doing this, because this isn't your first time.
No, this is my life. I'm going to do it till I pass away. 18 years I've been waiting for a liver transplant now. And after I met George, he just inspired me to make awareness of organ donation. I went to over 100 different schools and talked to over 1,000 different students, millions of different students about this. And you know what? The students are the ones that are going to change the world today. And that's why we're talking to them, and that's why we're getting this out to all the students, because they're the ones that are going to start it, and then they're the ones that are going to finish it.
Take us back when you were 14. You went across Canada then?
Yes, I did a walk across Canada when I was 14. I started in my hometown, Sarnia, Ontario, on January 8th. I went to Vancouver, BC, then I flew to St. John's, Newfoundland, and walked back and finished my walk in December 22nd.
For a kid waiting for a new liver, that wasn't bad.
Oh, it was a fun trip, and actually the power of this torch and the power of the Pope John Paul II that blessed it basically gave me life. That's why I'm living today, is because of this, because of the walk, the spirit, and everything. It helped me out in a whole way.
You're waiting almost 2 decades for a new liver? Still waiting?
Still waiting, yeah. They took me off the waiting list 3 years ago, saying I was too healthy, and basically they got to wait till I pass. Basically, I got to wait till I'm dead to get a transplant. That's what they're waiting for. And you know, it's not right. It's not right for all those Canadians out there that are off the waiting list, that are still waiting for organs. We're the lowest, and we need to get to the top. You know, Canada. You know, we don't like to be low, and Canada is actually the lowest for organ donation, and we need to change that.
Thank you both very much. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Laser.
Okay, now you're gonna bring.
But the illusion always is there's always one cameraman, but we make it look like there's 3 or 4 cameramen.
Yeah.
So we just sort of run around very quickly. That's right. That's right. So I'll show you where I'm going to be. My first shot is
just lay down.
Yep. Up here. So I need you to see reserve 23rd on the building.
Yeah.
Go beyond reserve 23rd, and then walk to the tree and don't look at me.
Okay.
Anytime. I know this seems a little long and drawn out, but remember, that was a 3-second shot. This is going to be another 3-second shot. Because I'm shooting low, watch your skirt, Neil. Yeah. Don't chat. Don't chat amongst yourself. We're not closing here. Always. Don't ever let a camera. If a cameraman ever says there's no sound, he's lying. No, trust me on this. It's not our job to turn the sound off. It's their job to not use it.
Oh.
It's always on. So if a cameraman says.
Good evening. It's with heavy hearts tonight that we remember our former colleague, Max Keeping. Max died late this afternoon.
He was the face of CTV Ottawa for nearly 37 years, a pillar in our community. Tonight, while we're all extremely sad for us and for you, we're going to celebrate his life of Max, how he inspired us and an entire community.
CTV's Michael LeBurn looks back at the life and times of a boy from Newfoundland who became king of the Ottawa Valley.
Do you want a picture? I've got my camera. I'll get a nice one. Yeah. Do we want to light it again?
Yeah, where's the lighter? It's in my pocket.
Oh, I'll run and get my camera, okay?
What's the material in there?
Or do you want to take a picture with this one?
Yeah, you could.
How do you do it?
I'll turn it off there. Actually, push that button up twice.
What do you mean up?
Yeah. Oh, actually, down. Sorry, I'm slow. There.
Okay.
You all set now? You can open that screen if you want. And there you go.
And it's the picture?
Yep.
While you have it there,
And
I
take the
just want
button.
that.
This is photo, right?
So
yeah.
When you hold it down, tap it right there. Right there.
Yeah, I'm getting this.
Can you look here?
Okay, this is extremely important day. One that will never be forgotten. And we do need some lamp oil, Chris. Just get a touch.
Can you just smile here for a second?
Want to hear a personal story? Yeah. I worked with Brian that day he was killed.
Really?
And like anything else, it's like you guys today. At the end of the day, you know, you're going your separate ways. It's like, okay, see you tomorrow. You know, whatever. Gone. Our newscast is from 6 till 7, and at 7 o'clock, 5 after 7, the people who do the newscast start coming out, right? And the shooter was over here. Pretty well, you see the guardrail?
Yeah.
Right at the end of the guardrail. It's all bushes now. It wasn't bushes then. That's where he was with a rifle, right? And he was watching people coming out this door through the sights of his rifle. And people were coming out and he didn't recognize them because they were technicians, right? I don't recognize that person. I don't recognize that person. And a good friend of mine, Lucy, was one person in front of Brian coming out, and she knows to this day that she was actually in his sights, and he didn't recognize her, so he allowed her to live. And the person behind her was Brian. He goes, oh, I recognize him. Shoots him through the head. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. And Lucy flipped out.
Well, you would.
Well, of course you would. And shot him here.
Brian, this is for you. You've never been forgotten. We've spoken of your name many times, many different places. mostly through your beloved country of Canada. And soon we will be bringing this torch around the world, possibly visiting every country of the world. And we're going to talk about your story, every single person that we meet along the way for the next number of years. So your journey will be continued, and your impact on lives will be continued. And the time that you have here on earth was cherished and treasured by many, and your memory will always be remembered. Brian, we know you're resting in peace. God bless you. Did you get the sign too, Sam?
Yeah.
With the golf ball? Did you see the golf ball?
I got the torch in there too. Do you want the torch in there?
You got one with me with the golf ball and
Yeah, I got one. You were speaking to most of it, so just try. Okay, it's good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta put this out because we gotta get the camera. I'll get it.
Is this all? Is this all?
Yep.
Thanks for saying those things. Later, the Senators signed Chris Phillips. Before the break, took almost 2 weeks, but 2 Toronto men have finished the long walk from Toronto to Ottawa. George Marcello and Sam Vinci walked onto Parliament Hill this afternoon. They covered more than 400 kilometers to raise money for research into liver disease. Marcello received a liver transplant 2 years ago. Vinci has friends and family suffering liver problems. Liver disease affects 1 in 4 Canadians. If you would like to give, call the Liver Foundation. 1-800-563-5483.
Okay. Glad I didn't have my kidney stone during one of these.
3 minutes? Yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Leave our stuff there?
Sure. And here's the gentleman you were talking, here's, let's put a face to him.
Yep. Okay. You got the camera. That's okay. I'll get a picture.
Sore today.
Powerful. I'm going to the spot where the person situated himself on August the 1st, 1995. It's actually, here's the CTV building. So it's right behind all these bushes, as you can see. There's all these bushes right along here, and he actually hit himself, and He was hiding behind this tree, and that door way up there, you can actually see it behind the white car. That's where Brian came out of, and as soon as he came out of that door, this person had a gun and shot Brian and got him on the first shot, and that's where Brian collapsed. So we're looking at a pretty far shot. Now I'm walking back to the door. Here's the tree of life. That was for Brian's tree. So as soon as Brian came out of this door, right up to those bushes. Beside that blue car. So here's all, let me go at this slowly. You can see basically how far this is. And here's the door that Brian came out of. Okay, so
hate the one being killed.
He shoots and he kills.
This is Jeffrey
Ehrenberg,
okay.
Right? Goes to trial. Found not fit to stand trial by reason of insanity. Goes away to a hospital. Spends 8-9 years, maybe 8 years in the hospital. Goes before a board in the hospital. Now he is competent again, and they let him out. They just let him out, right? Killed a guy.
Yeah.
6 months ago, he's down in Buffalo, actually in Windsor, not Windsor, Niagara Falls, going across to Buffalo, and he punches out a border guard. And as we speak, he's in trial in Buffalo for assaulting a border guard. And he's defending himself, and he's hearing voices, you know, the voices making me do this. So, should he have been released?
No. He should have been in jail, not in a hospital.
You answer that question. Yeah.
So his widow, Alana.
Yeah.
She passed a law at Parliament Hill.
Yes.
In 1997.
Yes, she had a law passed called Brian's Law or something, trying to get these guys to be locked up. You know, like you don't just go in and out of the situation.
Especially killing someone. You know.
But
at that stage, you'd be done for life.
And that law was passed in August 1997.
You probably know more about than I do.
Yeah.
Why these guys get released, I don't know. You know, who knows? These people apparently know better than we do, right?
They think.
But I'll tell you, if the Americans find him guilty for punching out a border guard, he'll be locked up for a long time.
Do you think they'll bring up the previous record too? Probably?
Don't know. I don't know if that's allowed in their courts. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Then he'd be
but I know that he's arrogant enough that he wants to defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He figures he can do it. And yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Mr. Ehrenberg. He's a maritimer.
Yeah.
Radio stations and told them to turn their signal off because he was hearing them in his head. Yeah. But you gotta sympathize with guys like that. There are wackos out there. But if they do mess up, then lock them up.
Yeah, especially for life.
Here. Anyway, I gotta run.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Gigabytes.
It's a long taxi. It must be busy today.
There it is.
I think it's dead.
Bye-bye, Brian.
Yeah.
You know, chosen as the Canadian Student Torch champ, and then put like 100 names behind you or something, you know, like something like that. Like, here's your team. Yeah, that was a
Winnipeg fully on it, yeah, especially to show the guy.
Yeah, I forget about those
This
stories.
guy was in a Greyhound bus, taking a Greyhound trip bus. And feels good though, because we're going home soon.
So which 3 channels you got again?
I got Tyra Banks,
Yeah.
I got the Dr. Phil show,
Yeah.
and I got Just for Laugh Gigs. So City TV and CTV.
It's coming up?
No, those are what I have on.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know which one it's on, but we'll see.
So, okay, so
We don't have the A channel.
you don't have a channel?
No.
And to release simply lift the upper portion of the buckle. The seatbelt to be fastened whenever that seatbelt sign is eliminated. Just like it is right now. I'd like to draw your attention to the 6 emergency exit locations. We have 2 windows.
Ahead, the crucial question in the NCR debate. What happens when people like Jeffrey Arenberg get out?
You believe that? That had you gone to prison for Brian Smith's death, it would be different?
If I went to, if you know where I'd be? In jail. So you want me in jail? Throw me in jail. I haven't got the authority anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, to you for that comment.
Hello, I'm Bob McEwen. Welcome to the Fifth Estate. It is at the top of the federal government's law and order agenda. Legislation to toughen the section of the criminal code that allows those who commit violent acts, even killing someone, to be found not criminally responsible for reasons of mental illness. It means they go not to prison, but to a psychiatric facility, and that instead of a sentence of up to life behind bars, they could be released into the community in as little as a few years, if and when they're found to have recovered. Now, the government wants so-called high-risk NCR cases to face longer mandatory treatment. The question, is it for reasons of public safety or public opinion? You be the judge, as we give you an unprecedented view of a person whose life, for better or worse, has been defined by those 3 letters, NCR. His name is Jeffrey Arenberg. He lives in a small room in a small city in Nova Scotia, surviving on a disability pension, spending hours daily on a laptop with no internet connection. He may not look it, but there was a time when Jeffrey Arenberg was the central figure in a story that made headlines across the country and beyond. Now, for the first time, he tells his story to us. He started out a farm boy from Bridgewater, a 9th grade dropout turned scallop fisherman along Nova Scotia's South Shore.
And that sounds like a tough job.
It is.
Physically?
Yeah, what they call is a strong body and a weak mind. That's what you call fishermen.
But then, in his early 30s, Arenberg broke his back in an accident. He spent months in traction, no longer able to work the boats or even to walk.
I was in the hospital, had to learn to walk all over again.
To this day, he can't move around without a cane. It was about the same time as the accident that Jeffrey Arenberg started hearing the voices wherever he went, the voices of others telling him what to do.
And what was it that you heard?
Like just people talking in the background about all different kinds of stuff about me.
Saying what about you?
You name it, they said it.
Yeah, give me an example.
Like say if I went across town, then it'd be people talking, do this, do that, do something else, whatever.
Did you know who was telling you these things, whose voices they were? It could have been your voice or somebody I see it on TV or anybody I met along the street that I talked to.
Arenberg says not only did he hear those voices speaking to him, but his own thoughts also were being transmitted by local radio stations, sharing his secrets with the world.
So at that point, if you were hearing the voices, what could you do about it?
Well, that's the thing. What could I do about it?
And those voices he heard started to cause trouble in his life. In the early to mid-90s, moving back and forth from Nova Scotia to Ottawa, where he went to school, Arenberg was well known to the justice and mental health authorities. He threatened violence if radio stations continued to broadcast his thoughts and was convicted of assault for attacking a radio station employee. He disrupted court proceedings, demanding judges order the voices he heard be stopped. If not, he warned, he might kill someone. But though he spent time in psychiatric hospitals, he was always released, and the voices kept coming back. Security on Parliament Hill was even on alert for Arenberg after he attempted to enter the center block a number of times. He wanted to persuade the Prime Minister to use his influence to eliminate the voices and transmissions. It all came to a head in the summer of 1995. Arenberg was living in downtown Ottawa. He had recently brought something back from the Maritimes, something deadly, a .22 caliber rifle.
So you thought you needed it to protect yourself because of all of that?
No, to prove a point. Like, I have a right to a life without everybody being told what to think around me.
On August 1st, at Ottawa's CJOH television, fate was about to throw together two very different men who had never met.
Skating, usually associated in the summer months.
Inside, just finishing the evening news, was the station's sportscaster Brian Smith, from a well-known Ottawa family.
Left wing Brian Smith was one of the original Los Angeles Kings.
Smith played in the NHL with the LA Kings before coming home to work on TV, one of the capital's favorite sons. Just before 7 p.m., Jeffrey Arenberg was waiting outside. He says all he wanted was to tell the world about the voices controlling his life and to make them stop.
Do I understand you correctly? Because you wanted to draw attention to what was happening in my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you think about the right and the wrong of it at that point?
Yeah, but what's right and wrong when I don't have a right to a life? And people tell me this. Other people have heard the same voices. How am I supposed to do anything about it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you prove a point? How would you go about it?
Brian Smith had nothing to do with those voices, but as he stepped from the building, Arenberg was in the parking lot with a gun and a point to make.
So how did you use the gun to make the point?
Okay, I shot Brian Smith.
Jeffrey Arenberg pulled the trigger. A .22 caliber bullet slammed into Brian Smith's forehead. Smith's wife, Alana Keynes, was a reporter at the Ottawa Citizen. At that moment in the newsroom, she heard something unusual unfold on the police radio scanner.
So I'm listening, and I know when things are not just a backfire. I know when it's really serious. And so I'm heading towards the scanner, wondering what's happening.
When Keynes tried calling her husband, there was no answer.
I get an emergency call, and I said, is it him? What's going on? And they actually quite lied to me, but in a good way, so I could be safe. And they said, no, he's fine. But it was him.
No.
It was him.
Okay. Do you need me to take care? Yeah.
For the next 24 hours, CJOH would report a story as awful and as close to home as it could
Let's
get.
just go. Do you have a car here? Okay.
Good morning. CJOH Sports Director Brian Smith is clinging to life this morning, the victim of a gunshot wound to the head.
When he was ultimately taken off life support, he was mourned by all of Ottawa. Brian Smith's life was over. But the disturbing saga of his killer, Jeffrey Arenberg, had just begun.
This is a man who stole a great man from me, from his mother, who was never the same, from a community that's never really been the same. Yeah, he stole. He ripped a hole through my soul. So how do you forgive that? How do you think about that? But at the same time, I understand it was mental illness, and hopefully he's on the right road now, and he's not hurting anybody else.
But that remains to be seen. And this tragic story seems all the more senseless when told by the man who caused it.
Why Brian Smith?
He just happened to be the one walking out at that time.
Did you know who he was?
Yeah, from watching the news, yeah.
You knew he was a former hockey player?
Yeah, that's not no beef with him or his family. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, his wife, Alana, would not characterize it quite that way.
Yeah, I know.
She says her life was profoundly changed by you pulling the trigger and killing her husband.
Yeah, like it's nothing against her or her family, like I just said.
Yeah.
It was to draw attention to all this fucking bullshit that was messed up my life.
The day after he shot Brian Smith, Jeffrey Arenberg turned himself in to the police.
Hi, George. My name is Jim Kane. I'm Brian Smith's cousin in Ottawa. I've been in touch with his widow, Alana, and she was trying to decide whether this is something at this point in her life she wants to do, and I talked to her this morning, and the answer is yes. And I'm very involved. I was very involved. It was Alana and myself that were in the hospital with Brian overnight after he was shot, and it was my suggestion that said, you know, he was in such great shape. What about organ donations? And so that led to the organ donations. So I was very involved, and what you have done is amazing, and we would love to see if there's some way we can go forward to help this thing, because it's a, you know, organ awareness is a great issue, and I know little about it anyway. So I'm going to be going out for a meeting this morning. I'll be back after 2 o'clock, so it's 613-656-5206, and I look forward to talking to you, George. Thank you.